This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, welcome to Sanam Soft Tech Solutions. We are now here to discuss the demo on the SAP PP training. Okay, let me proceed further. Okay,
This conference will now be recorded.
let us start now. Okay, let's welcome to Sanam Soft Tech Solutions and let us start with the SAP PP training. So before proceeding further to our PP training, you can see our email details and phone number, and interested people can visit this website. Okay, and they can start their PP training course. And before proceeding further, let us go into the yeah let us know who is your trainer and with whom you are going to work for. Okay, so my name is Karthik and those are my credentials, and my background is I am basically an electrical and electronic engineer, and I have done masters in production planning and supply chain management. Okay, I have 8 years of experience in total, and from past 3 years I am training various candidates on PP, QM, PM and ABAP modules. Okay, and there are some myths who can learn SAP and who can't learn SAP, and few of them say that they need some basic understanding on that, and few of them say that they need some background in order to progress with the SAP. But on reality terms, anybody can learn SAP. Okay, but the manufacturing business process is preferred, but it's not mandatory. For example, some of them might be learning in the production shop floors. They might have some knowledge on the manufacturing business processes. Okay, those manufacturing business knowledge is preferred, but it's not mandatory. Why? Because during phase of our course we are going to learn you guys from the scratch, and this particular course is in from certification point of view. Okay, which consists of the configurations that we are going to configure as a part of our business requirements, and followed by some of the development objects. Okay, for which we have to take the help from the ABAP in order to develop the requirements. Okay, the only expectation from the learners would be they need to have some desire and dedication in order to complete this course successfully to progress further. So what this PP training package consists of? It consists of a server access, project based training with real time business scenarios, which comprises of study materials, and for each and every and for once completion upon the completion of each and every topic, assignments will be provided. Okay, that will be helpful for the learners to groom up and to get up with the things. Okay, and after each and every session you can come up with some question kind of things where there will be open forum for us to discuss the issues, and we will also help you guys in resume and interview kind of things. Okay, this PP training is basically enabled both for the freshers and experienced. Okay, basically it is bifurcated into two parts. The first part consists of the entire certification oriented course. Okay, so initially we will go through the contents of this course. Upon the successful completion of that course, you can straight away go and book a slot from SAP Labs to proceed further with your certification. And this course also comprises of the extended topics. Okay, which are the key concepts currently in the market, and which are more useful for each and everyone during the phase of their professional life. Once we go into the SAP curriculum, I will bifurcate and show what are the SAP certified courses and what are the extended courses that we are going to cover as a part of this training. Okay, now let us go for introduction into the ERP systems. Okay, basically what is ERP? ERP is an enterprise resource planning. Basically for each and every organization, there will be multiple departments. It may comprises of the materials management, sales and distribution, product manufacturing and its practices, supply chain management, warehouse management, and transportation management. There are few more departments under the same organization. But in initial days, the problem faced by the organization is that the centralized data is not in place for the organization in order to go with some decision making kind of things. So in order to proceed further with decision making and in order to progress in terms of growth perspective for the organizations, okay, they have adopted a tool called enterprise resource planning. The main objective of this particular tool is in order to integrate the data that is coming from all the departments on a single source. So by integrating the data from all the departments, the data will be in a centralized location and it can be accessed by each and everyone in order to proceed further with their business practices. And why ERP? Why not some other tools? Okay. The main advantage of going to the ERP application is in terms of integration aspects. Okay. The sort of integration that is provided by the SAP in the market is not given by any other applications under the ERP package. That is the reason why the SAP is one of the leading solutions in the market. Okay, which will have the effective control for the all the organizations to progress further. Okay, uh, few of them are, these are the few products which are available in the market. Okay, SAP, which has more than 65% of the market share, followed by Oracle, JD Edwards, Marshall, PeopleSoft, Salesforce, and many more. Okay, and in terms of abbreviation, SAP means system applications and product in database in data processing. Okay, over 10 million users are already registered for this. Okay, now in recent times, SAP Labs has tied up with the Microsoft Azure, which is progressing further with a product called S4 HANA. So in future, in terms of the users, the count may increase. And after Microsoft, Google, and Apple, SAP is the fourth largest software company in the world in terms of providing the solutions to the customers. Okay, basically it is dependent on the R3 structures. R3 structure. So where R stands for real-time data and 3 stands for the three types architecture. For example, here for each and every business processing unit, okay, the data will be the realistic and it will be processed in different layers, and those three layers are presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Okay, so for example, the presentation layer is the layer where a front-end user can see. For example, we are making use of some applications like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are going to sign in and we are going to operate. So at that point of time, we become the end users who are going to work on that particular app. So we will be falling under the presentation layer. Okay, but in the background there are many consultants and many developers who has developed that particular application in order to come into the market. Okay, and they might be dealing with the application layer and database layer. Basically the database layer is a layer where the data stores in SAP in tables. Okay, and it will be fetched into the presentation layer considering the ETL technologies. So this is pure into technical terms, so it's not required at this point of time. Okay, see, this is the kind of architecture what SAP is providing. It has tight integration with various modules over here. For example, you can see SD, MM, PP followed by workflow and process systems. For each and every module is tightly integrated with the R/3 client and server based. Okay, which is developed on the ABAP programming language called ABAP. Okay, basically there are two type of modules in SAP. First one would be the functional modules and second one would be the technical modules. And under functional modules, it is subdivided into the financial planning, controlling, human resource, materials management, SD, CRM, and PP, and many more. Now we are further proceeding with the PP production planning module, where it has a tight integration with each and every module. When we are progressing further during phase of our course, we are going to work on the integration parts, how PP module is tightly integrated with the FI. Similarly, how PP module is tightly integrated with CO, followed by HR, MM, SD, and QM. Basically, the combination of PP and QM comprises of the manufacturing domain. Okay, so the people who are registering for a PP module course, it is suggestible for them upon the completion they can register for QM module. Why? Because these two are tightly integrated in the respective SAP environments. And these are the few technical modules. Okay, and ABAP, which is the coding language for the SAP, NetWeaver, and BI/BAW. Basically the purpose of BI/BAW is to extract the data and in order to develop the business objects within the SAP system. And recently ANA, which is the database, core database for the SAP solutions basis also. Okay, so now let us go into the SAP classical landscape. Okay, This is the standard SAP provider landscape, okay, which will be opted by most of the business teams, okay, but it not necessary they need to adopt at this only three-tier kind of thing. They can go with the additional ones also. Basically, if any requirements we are getting from the business, what we are going to do is we are going to configure them, or we are going to develop them in the development system, okay. Once the changes are done in the development system, and once the unit testing is done, then we are going to deploy the changes into the PPD environment. After deploying the changes into the PPD environment, the business users will be testing that, and they are going to provide some UAT kind of thing. Once the business is getting satisfied in terms of UAT, then we are going to deploy the changes into the production system, or it is also called the live system, where the users and super users are going to work in future. So as per the standard SAP, it is at three levels. One is development system, followed by quality, and followed by the production system. And these are type of users, basically end users, super users, and SAP consultants. End users are the users who are going to work on a particular domain from the business perspective, and they are going to maintain the data which will come and sit in the SAP tables. End users are not aware, end users are not aware of the SAP terms, okay. They are purely oriented in terms of the business aspects only. Whereas in case of the super users, these are the users which are mostly driven into process oriented kind of things, but they have a bit knowledge on the SAP. So basically these super users are also called as the business analyst, who are aware of all the business terms from business perspective. Whereas the SAP consultants are the one, when a business is giving a particular requirement, considering that requirement, the SAP consultants need to develop that object in terms of customization or in terms of the workbench, and they have to provide that solution to the super users followed by the end users in order to fulfill the requirements. And what is the role of SAP consultant? So in layman language, basically there would be two type of roles. One would be the PP support consultant, and second would be the PP consultant who works on implementations or the projects. The if any one of you is going and opting for the PP consultant role, and these would be the list of activities where you are going to work for, okay. Whereas if any consultant is going and working for SAP PP implementations, that would be from the scratch, or that would be from the higher versions. For example, in case of the support projects, the SAP implementation, everything is in place for the business systems. What a PP support consultant would be doing each and every day is going to monitor the issues, and if business is stuck somewhere, and if businesses need some help in resolving those issues, so SAP consultants would be helping them in order to progress further. Whereas the SAP PP consultants who works for the implementations on the projects, they may come up with the new things, and they may work on the projects also. For example, if business is operating in one particular region, and if they want to expand their business and they want to operate it from some other region, at that point of time the business will go for some rollout kind of things, where the SAP PP consultants who are interested, they can work over there. And at the same time, there would be some key projects like simplification projects, upgraded projects, metal code organization projects. So these will be different type of projects where SAP consultants has to perform some gap fit analysis kind of thing, considering the business requirements. Upon the submission of this gap fit analysis to the business team, they may progress further with the development kind of thing for the new versions. So now let us go deeper into the SAP PP module. Why? Because this training is basically oriented in terms of the SAP PP. I thought of giving the initial introduction into the ERP kind of thing. What is ERP? What are the modules that are involved in ERP? And what is mean by R3 architecture? Why? Because the people who are new into the SAP, they have to be aware of this kind of thing. So once we straight away step into the real-time business screens or real-time SAP screens, there would be no confusions for them. But for experienced people, these are already known, and the upcoming activities would be helpful for them. Basically, the PP, which has a tight integration with the FI, HR, QM, PM, MM modules, and each and every modules, and how this tight integration will be carried out in SAP can be described by taking an example in terms of the order cash cycle. For example, a customer is providing some requirement kind of thing. When a customer is asking for a particular requirement, it is created in the SAP in terms of the sales order, and that will be taken care by the sales and SC team. Once a particular sales order is receiving into the SAP, at that point of time, the requirement that we got from the SAP, we got from the customer, it will check the stock levels which are available or not in SAP, and if the required stock levels are not there at that point of time, it is going to trigger the materials management module, where it will raise the purchase order to the vendor in order to get the raw materials kind of thing to manufacture the finished products. Once vendor provides the invoice receipts and goods receipt of the material management, at that point of time, a production planning will trigger and they will start manufacturing of a product. In order to manufacture a particular product, we are going to create a master data called a bill of material. Basically what it does is, the bill of material, it will shows the hierarchy, what is the finished products and what are the components that are required in order to manufacture a product. The materials management team will be procuring all the required components from the vendors, and they will be placing them in inventory storage locations. So that will become a trigger point for the production planning guys to start their manufacturing activities and to proceed further. Once a particular product is getting manufactured successfully, and once it is done with all the quality compliances, then the manufactured product will be placed back into the storage locations, respective storage locations, that is further delivered to the customer based upon outbound delivery. So this is the place where the integration falls for each and every module. See, okay, as I said in shell, this is the SAP PP curriculum course which I have segregated at 2 levels. Okay, till the sequence number 27, it will be useful for everyone in order to clear the certification from the SAP. Okay, and whereas there are some extended concepts. Okay, external concepts like batch management, engineering change management, cross-component classification, ad hoc processing, introduction to MES systems, and introduction to S4HANA. So these are the extended concepts we are providing to the customers who are going to register with us as an add-on. Why? Because these are the ones which are leading in the market, and these are the essential funds for SAP consultant in order to drive his career in future. Okay, but these are not a part of certification course, but we are providing them as an add-on. Okay, now let us go to the first page, what it covers. Okay, so basically this course curriculum covers introduction to the ERP and SAP system and overview of the production process. In overview of the production process, we are going to cover what is meant by production planning module and how it is tightly integrated with the other modules. Okay, when the production process will trigger, in order to proceed further with the production process, what are the prerequisites for manufacturing team from business end to progress further. So all those key aspects will be covered in the session 2. When we go to the session 3, it is mostly driven in terms of the master data. Basically these are the list of master datas which are essential to create in the SAP system to progress further with the PP function module. For example, material master. Okay, for example, if you are manufacturing any particular product, at that point of time we need to define that material in SAP system. Okay, and at the same time we have to maintain the bill of material for them. For example, if we are manufacturing a product called laptop, so the laptop will be becoming the final level product, means it's the finished product. But in order to manufacture a finished laptop, we need battery, hard disk, RAM, keyboard as a components. Okay, so to manufacture a laptop we need few components. Okay, so this hierarchy we are going to maintain in master data called bill of material. At that point of time, for example, we are manufacturing a finished product. Okay, which will become the laptop. In order to manufacture a laptop we need some of the components. Okay, the key components would be battery, keyboard, RAM, hard disk, and many more. So in SAP system, what we are going to do is we are going to maintain the hierarchy in terms of bills of material. Basically, what bill of material states is, in order to manufacture this product, these are the list of the components that are required. So all the list of components which are required to manufacture the product will be purchased using a purchase order from the material management team. Once these are received in the store, then manufacturing team will trigger the process and they are going to manufacture a product by considering all these components. Now, resource or work center. Basically, the resource or work center, it might be the man, material, or a machine. Okay, for example, if any of the person who is working on a manufacturing domain, okay, it might be the man, machine, or the material. These three are the key essentials in order to manufacture a product. So these three would be defined as the work center or the resource in SAP system. Basically, the resource would be a person or an activity or a movement which is going to progress further with our production. And routing, if I go to the routing comprises of the sequences of all the steps that are required in order to finish a particular product. For example, in order to manufacture a finished product, there would be some sequence of steps. Until and unless we're done with step 1, we can't go to the step 2. So all the required process instructions in order to manufacture a finished product, those will be defined in the routing or in master SP, and this will become the base for the for a resource to manufacture a particular product. If I go deep diver into this, the production planning comprises of the three type of process. Okay, the first one would be called as the process manufacturing. Second one would be discrete manufacturing, and the third one would be the repetitive manufacturing. So our course curriculum would be designed based upon these three manufacturing processes, which are correlated with the production planning. Okay, so we will be discussing about each and every manufacturing and its respective techniques and standard operating procedures during the phase of our curriculum. Okay, and let me go further. The production versions. The production version would be the linkage for the bill of material and the master SP. For a particular manufacturing product, we are going to define the bill of material, and at the same time we are going to define the routing or master SP. Okay, so these two will be linked to the production version. So in order to manufacture a particular product, it will check the relationship between the bill of material and the routing. Why? Because these two comprises of the parallel activities. Bill of material says what are the list of components that are required in order to manufacture a product, whereas the routing says the sequence of operations that are to be performed in shop floor to progress further. So these two are then correlated by make use of the production versions. And control cycles. Basically the purpose of control cycle is in order to stage the materials. For example, we are manufacturing a particular product, and when we are manufacturing a particular product, we have to consume some components. So in order to consume some components, the master data in terms of the control cycle will be helpful for us, okay, to say or to update in which location the stock resides, from where we need to pick them, and how we are going to consume them. Okay, whether it would be the approach of the Kanban, whether it would be approach from the WM storage locations, or whether it would be the approach from inventory storage locations. Okay, so these type of activities will be controlled by the control cycles. So when we go deeper into this phase, goods issue and material staging, here we are going to discuss what are the list of techniques that are available for us in order to stage the material, and how the business will be proceeding further with the goods issue, and what are the list of movement types that will be triggered when we are performing the goods issue operation in SAP system. Okay, now this is also one sort of add-on that I have created, that I have added over here. Advanced bill of material and advanced routings. Okay, Basically, these two concepts will have the integration with the APO systems with PPDS, okay, in order to plan a particular resource. Basically, it comprises of some relationships, predecessors and successors, okay, where we are going to map with the APO system. So the APO system will become the base for the planning activities. Once the required planning is performed in the APO system, the planning will flow into the respective ECC systems in terms of material requirement planning, and from there we can proceed further with our manufacturing processes. So this would be an integration with the APO system, and we will be discussing accordingly. And this is the master data customization. For example, when we are going to the screens of bill of material, routing, master recipe, and work centers and all these things, we are going to input the key control indicators, and we will come to know how that particular control indicators are functioning in the front end for SAP consultants, and where we need to do a respective customizations for them. Okay, so that will be covered in SPRO settings in terms of BOM customization, work center, task list, and material type customizing. Okay, now let us go to the concept 7, what it covers. Basically, the material requirement the concept of material requirement planning will be in place from the demand. It means that, for example, a customer need 100 laptops to deliver by this time, and that would be the initiation into the SAP system. So at that point of time, once the demand is received into the SAP system in terms of the sales order, that particular demand is picked by the demand management, okay, by creating the plan independent requirements. So once that is picked by plan independent requirements, when MRP is run at material level or at the plant level, the required purchase requisitions will be triggered to the material management team, where they will purchase the required components for us. So those purchased components will become the base for us to start the production manufacturing processes. So all those key things what we are going to cover under MRP 1, 2, 3, 4, we will be covering over here. So basically in the material master, there are 5 views which are important for the PP module. First view would be the MRP1, second is MRP2, MRP3, MRP4, and work scheduling. These 5 views are basically important from material master perspective in order to trigger the production planning module. So what are the functionalities under each and every field under MRP 1, 2, 3, 4, and work scheduling views we are going to cover over here. Okay, and then further we'll go with procurement types. Basically in SAP system there would be 3 type of procurement types. Let me note down. First procurement type would be the in-house manufacturing. Second one would be the externally procured, and third one would be the both. For example, in-house manufacturing in the sense, okay, our company is going to manufacture a particular product. Okay, so the semi-finished or semi-finished or finished product will be manufactured within our company and within our premises. At that point of time, we have to select the option called in-house manufacturing. But there are some limitations for the business where they can't manufacture product. At that point of time, they will be going to the process called externally procured. For example, some of the key components like raw materials, consumables, so these are the ones a company will be procured from the vendors. Okay, so at that point of time these will be defined as the externally procured. Okay, there will be some situations a company can manufacture a product, but considering the timelines and inventory storage locations, and to meet the demand to the customers, partial of them they will be getting manufactured, and partial of them they would be buying from the subcontractors. So at that point of time we are going to select the concept called both. Okay, so how the MRP would be behaving when we are going to select the procurement type as in-house, and how the MRP would be behaving if we are going to select the procurement type as external, and how it would be behaving if we select as a bold. We are going to replicate all the real-time scenarios in the material requirement planning concept. Okay, then let us go to the concept of scheduling. So in scheduling concept, what we are going to see is how we are going to schedule a particular material. After MRP run, after each and every successful MRP run, we need to schedule when we are going to manufacture this particular product, when we are going to deliver this, and what are the list of steps that we need to perform between the manufacture and deliver of the products. Okay, and how much time it takes for us in order to process all those steps. So all the list of things will be considered in the concept of scheduling. Okay, which will be supported by the sub concept called as a bomb and routing selection. For example, for one particular product, for example, for one particular finished product, we have three variants: variant 1, variant 2, variant 3. It means that assume this would be the finished product in the market. Okay, and the finished product would be laptop. Okay, in the variant 1, it might be laptop of kind ultrabook. Here it might be notepad, and here it might be the IdeaPad. Okay, here the product is same, but when we are delivering a particular demand to the customer, okay, there would be few changes in terms of the variant management. Okay, so these kind of the changes internally handled by the SAP. Okay, which BOM and which routing we need to select in order to manufacture product, and how that would be supporting for the material requirement planning. So all these things would be covered in the BOM and routing selections. Yeah. Now let us go to the concept of demand management. Okay, so basically the purpose of demand management is to fulfill the customer requirements, customer or end user requirements. Okay, so basically there would be two type of scenarios for demand management. One would be the make to stock scenario. Okay, and second one would be the make to order scenario. There are two types of scenarios. So what do you mean by make to stock scenario? See, in case of the make to stock scenario, what happens? We will get a requirement from the customer. We will have all the assembly parts in our production shop floor. So what we are going to do is we are going to assemble them and we are going to deliver them to the customer. So what is the advantage of make to stock scenario would be we are going to deliver a lot of quantity to the customer in short span of time. Why? Because we already manufacture our key components and we kept in our stock location. Just what we need to do is we need to assemble them and we need to fix that and we need to provide that to the provide or deliver that to the customers. So this is what we are going to do with the make to stock scenario. But whereas in case of make to order scenarios, we have to, once we receive the requirement from the customer, then only we are going to start with the rest of the procurement and manufacturing processes. Because basically in terms of make to order scenarios, the price would be very high to in order to deliver a finished product. So the business is not going to take any risks. Okay, and these so once they get the proper requirement from the business, then only they are going to create the respective master data in SAP system and they are going to progress further on this part. Then few more concepts like master production scheduling, firming, long-term planning will be covered. Okay, so this will be used in terms of extended concept of the material requirement planning, master production schedule. Okay, which is the advanced in the market. So this will be also covered as an add-on. And once we perform the material requirement planning, a planned order would be getting generated for us. Okay, so we should not change that particular planned order. Why? Because there is a possibility in SAP system, once a planned order is getting created, a business users can change the planned orders by changing the quantity or by changing the scheduling dates and each thing. So at that point of time, in order to provide some governance to the generated planned orders, okay, there is a concept called firming. Okay, so we are going to cover this as a part of this course. Basically, this firming indicator in the SAP system will provide the governance to the created planned orders out of MRP to proceed further. And we have one more concept called long-term planning. Okay, so most of the companies now will be using the long-term planning. Okay, which determines what sort of standard operating procedures they need to adopt and how they are going to maintain the demand management. how they are going to the material requirements management, and how both of them are integrated. So all these things will be covered under the long term planning. Okay, so from year to year, from sequence step to till firming indicator, this will fall under the concept of the planning. Here the production is not a trigger. In order to trigger the production, the prerequisites would be the planning, or we are going to plan a particular components whether they are available in the stock or not. So once everything is in place, then only we are going to trigger the production or the process order. So as I earlier said that there are three type of manufacturings. One would be the discrete, second would be the process, and third would be the repetitive manufacturing. So in case of the discrete manufacturing, we will call that as a production order, whereas in case of the process manufacturing, we are going to call that as a process order. Okay, and these are the sequence of steps that we are going to cover as a part of this step. For example, how we are going to create a process order, what are the list of transactions that are involved in order to create a process order. Upon the successful creation of the process order, what are the list of activities business users will be doing, and how SAP consultant will be providing those solutions to the business users. Okay, how the batch determination is done, how they are going to check the material availability before release of the process order. So all these key things will be covered as a part of the production or process order concept. Okay, and how the business user is going to print out documents, what sort of configuration we have to do from SAP and to trigger the printing documents to the business users, how we are going to stage the particular material, and how we are going to receive a particular material after manufacturing a particular product, where it will be getting received. So these concepts will be covered over here. Okay, so once a manufacturing order is getting completed, once once a particular manufacturing order is getting completed, at that point of time the business users, what they are going to do is they will trigger the CO module, where the PPCO integration will fall. Okay, they are going to check what are the planned costs for them which are incurred in order to manufacture a particular product, and then they are going to check with the actual cost. So the comparison of the actual costs and the standard cost is called as the order settlement, where they are going for the variance calculations. So that variance calculations will be key for them uh, to close the manufacturing order. Once the order settlement is done, then finally they are going to archive and delete the created production or the process order. And now, for example, in SAP system, we have created hundreds of production or process order, and if business users want to release the all the process order at once, or he may want to perform goods issue of all the process order at once, or they may want to print the document of all the production or process order at once. So how SAP system would be supporting, what sort of standard reports are there in SAP system in order to perform the mass processing. So all those key concepts will be covered under the part of the info system and the mass processing. Okay. And PA sheets. So basically, what is the purpose of the PA sheets would be uh, SAP system. There would be an SAP system, and this is the manufacturing execution system. So basically, it might be the shop floor. So this manufacturing execution system needs some process instructions for the resources in order to proceed further. So here in SAP system, we have the concept called PI sheets. How these PI sheets are integrated in SAP system, and how these are playing a key role in order to deliver the message to the manufacturing execution system. This will be configured and this will be explained as a part of our course curriculum. For example, when we are manufacturing a particular product, there will be a sequence of steps, what a particular resource or what a particular labor they need to do in the shop floor. So these sequence of steps will be identified as a part of standard operating procedures, and these will be mapped in the PI sheets. So whenever we release the process order, at that point of time, the instructions which are maintained in the PI sheets, these will be automatically sent to the manufacturing execution system in terms of the process instructions. So then the business can take it forward in order to manufacture product. So the required customizing, the required transaction code, screen maintenance, everything will be covered as a part of this course. And let me go to the concept of uh, repetitive manufacturing. Okay, so as I said that we have covered the process and production manufacturing till the sequence 11, sequence 19, and the detailed session will be covered when we proceed further after the course registration. But to say on short notice for repetitive manufacturing, um, this will be most this type of manufacturing principles are mostly adopted by some of the companies called FMCG companies, where they are going to manufacture products like cool drinks, and some of the other companies like petroleum companies. So basically there will be no change in their existing manufacturing process. So each and every time when they manufacture a particular product, they are going to manufacture in the same sequence, and no setup changes are required for them. Okay, so mostly in terms of automation kind of thing, and it will be driven in terms of the production versions, not at the order level. So all these list of concepts will be covered under the concept called repetitive manufacturing. Okay, now let us go to the concept called Kanban, which is one of the key concept for the production manufacturing. So a product got manufactured and it got staged to the production shop floor. When it got staged to the production shop floor, there would be different techniques, as I said, for the material staging and goods issue. Okay, and one of the technique would be the Kanban. So what do you mean by Kanban, and what sort of instructions the Kanban would be carrying in terms of the containers? Okay, and how the business users will be getting advantage from this concept of Kanban. So this will be covered under the goods issue and metal staging concept in an advanced way under production and process order control sheet. And the next topic would be the capacity requirement planning. When we create a particular manufacturing order in SAP system, at that point of time, we are going to check whether all the required capacities are available or not. For example, there are 10 products which are manufacturing at same time in the shop floor. Okay, by using the same resources, at that point of time, how we have to plan the resources efficiently and in efficient manner to progress further with our manufacturing processes. These are all list of things we are going to consider as a part of requirement planning. How we are going to level the resources, how we are going to smoothen the resources, upon which how the scheduling dates will be getting changed for the capacity requirements planning. So all the list of things will be covered over here. Okay, and finally the concept of SAP tables. So each and every transaction that what we are posting in SAP, either it might be in terms of master data, transaction data, or the event posting, each and everything will be getting and stored in standard SAP tables. So what are the list of tables for bill of material, metal master, resource and production version? And at the same time, what are the list of tables for transaction data, that is for process order, goods issue, goods receipt, and how we are going to correlate them, what is the hierarchy, how we can check the production planning workflow at table level. So these are all things will be covered under the concept called SAP PP tables over here. Okay, and there would be a concept called user exits. And what is the purpose of this concept is, for example, we are getting some requirement from the business users. So there would be two possibilities for us. Possibility one, we are going to deliver that solution to the business users by doing some customization kind of thing within the SAP system. But there would be some circumstances we can't do the customization because of some limitations. At that point of time, we can take the help from the ABAP module. Okay, where we are going to develop the user exits. So for example, we are creating a particular process order, or we are going to create a particular production order in COR1 transaction. So when we create or when we release, at that point of time, my production order or process order number should be a batch number for me. So it means that when I release a particular process order, automatically that particular process order number will be copied into my batch location. So how it is going to happen? It might be get happen by making use of concept called the user exits. So we are going to see what are the list of standard SAP provide user exits that are available for the master data and for transaction data, and how we can make use of them to progress further. Okay, and finally one of the key concept, this is the integration concept that we have seen over there. What all are the list of integrations with PP and FI. What sort of integrations are there with PPMM, followed by CO, SD, and QM? All these list of integrations and how these are integrated within the SAP system, we are going to see during the phase of our course. And at the same time, we are going to tell how we are going to handle the projects or tickets. Okay, these two concepts would be mostly useful for the people who are new into the SAP PP module. For experienced ones, these are already known, but we are added over here for the beginners. Okay, and if I come to some extended course curriculum, so these would be some key concepts which are essential for the experienced candidates and at the same time for freshers also. What is the purpose of batch management in SAP system, and in real-time scenarios, how the business is making use of this batch management? Okay, how they are going to create the batches, and what sort of settings or customization is required in SAP in order to create a batch, and how they are going to perform the batch determination, and how they are going to perform the batch derivation techniques. Okay, these are all things will be covered under the batch management. Okay, and SAP has provided a standard report called batch information cockpit. How to make use of that report in order to come up with the various list of a particular batch. So all these kind of things we are going to discuss under the concept called batch management. Okay, and there are few more concepts called engineering change management and classification. These are the cross component applications. It means the what do you mean by cross component? Means, for example, there are different modules in SAP, PP, SD, MM. Different modules are there. So if more than one particular module is using a particular concept, it will fall under the cross component category. Okay, and classification is one among them. Okay, and engineering change management will also fall under the cross component. So the basically the purpose of the engineering change management is to provide a governance kind of thing for master data, especially. For example, in our case, the master data is metal master, bill of material, resource, master SP, and production version. Okay, once the right master data is set in production system and it is in place, if any of the business user is unfortunately change that particular master data, it will impact their business. So in order to keep some control and governance in place, they will make use of the concept called engineering change management. Okay, this concept provides the workflow. Okay, for example, if any of the user wants to change some master data kind of thing, they have to provide the input the change number. And in this concept, we are going to see how we are going to create the change number, and how we are going to convert the change number to the change order, and what are the sequence of steps that will be covered, and how the digital signature and workflow would be populating over there. So these all things will be covered as a part of the engineering change management. Okay, and similarly it would be for classification also. So basically the classification is, the purpose of the classification would be for user defined fields. SAP is already provided some sort of field in some transaction where we can make use of that, but each and every field in SAP has some importance. Okay, and the requirements from the business users will be also different. At that point of time, how we are going to create the user defined fields, and how we are going to make use of them from classification and characteristic concepts. So these all will be covered as a part of the classification. And IDOC processing. Okay, so basically IDOC means intermediate document. Okay, in production shop floor, they have the systems called MES systems. Okay, for example, now in the market, one of the best MES system is called PASEX system, MES system. Okay, the purpose of the PASEX MES system is it will capture all the manufacturing activities. It will list down till the completion of manufacture activities. So this will become the base for the operators in order to proceed with their operations. But there should be some integration between the SAP and the MES systems. It means that, for example, the data is maintained in the SAP system. This data is sent to the PASIC system by key concept called IDOC, which is intermediate document. So the concept of IDOC will be involved over here. Okay, how many IDOC techniques are there? What are the methods that are involved in the IDOC? What do you mean by ALV methodology? What do you mean by EDI methodology? Okay, and how many flows are there for IDOC? What do you mean by outbound flow? What do you mean by the inbound flow? How the data will be getting exchanged from segments? Okay, and how we are going to configure the key customization for IDOCs. Okay, how you are going to activate the distribution models, partner profiles. So these all things will be covered as a part of this IDOC processing and introduction to the MES system. Okay, so this would be the course. This would be the extended course. These are not a part of the certification material. Only till 27 would be the part of certification material, but these would be the extended code, extended add-ons that we are providing. Okay, followed by the introduction to S4HANA. Now currently we are here the course content is for the ECC system, SAP PP ECC system, but SAP is coming up with a new product called as HANA. So what is the difference between the ECC system and S4HANA system, and what sort of replications would be there, and how we can progress further with the S4HANA system, and what are the advantages of this, and what do you mean by Fiori applications, how we are making use of that in the real-time business scenarios. So these all things will be covered as a part of this S4HANA training. Okay, so this would be the course we requested and we maintained for the PP course curriculum. Okay, and the interested people can visit the respective, they can contact the respective email IDs and the mobile number, and they can register accordingly. Thank you. Yeah.